And the news continues in West Africa, where the Greenpeace, an environmental organization in Ghana, says it is concerned by reports that 15 million second-hand items of clothing arrive in Ghana every week. In a released report, Fast Fashion Slow Poison highlights that every week up to 500,000 items of clothing waste from Kantamanto Market end up in open spaces and informal dump sites. The report also reveals that 89% of clothing waste in Ghana's dump sites contain synthetic fibres, leading to widespread microplastic contamination. These clothes are burned in open fires to heat water in public warehouses or wash houses, leading to levels of benzene exceeding European indoor air guide values by almost 200 times. The group has called on the president of Ghana, Nana-Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to ban the import of textile dead waste immediately. Now joining us to discuss on this is the head of investigations at Greenpeace Africa, Sam Quashie-Idun. He joins from London, UK. You're welcome, Quashie. Good to have you on this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Mazzino. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
You're welcome. Now, can you please summarize the key findings of your report on second-hand clothes in Ghana? What specific environmental problems have been identified in relation to the influx of second-hand clothing in Ghana?
Yeah, so Mazzino, I think it's important to outline that every week we're talking about approximately 1,500 tons of second-hand garments arriving into Ghana, into Kantamanto specifically, which is Ghana's largest second-hand clothing market. And much of this, is also re-exported to other West African countries and other parts of Ghana. But every week, about 500,000 items of clothing waste from Kantamanto Market end up in Ghana's open spaces. And so at Greenpeace Africa, we're very much interested in documenting the fate of these bad quality secondhand items once they are thrown away from Kantamanto Market. And, it was quite shocking to see that, a large amount of those clothes essentially end up in landfill sites, in open spaces, green spaces. And so that kind of prompted us to kind of look further into that. And we also acknowledged, as you mentioned in the intro, that a lot of these textile waste end up in public wash houses in the particular area of Old Fadama. And so that prompted us to perform some indoor air sampling testing to kind of see what people in those wash houses were exposed to in terms of, the fumes that they were breathing in. And as you mentioned, we identified some really concerning pollutants like benzene, which is a carcinogenic substance, so creates cancer in humans. We also found styrene, which is toxic to human reproduction. We also identified something we call polyaromatic hydrocarbons, HAPs, some of which are also carcinogenic with chronic exposure, and also phenol, which is mutagenic. And as you said, the levels for benzene were very concerning because we're talking about them being almost 200 times higher than European safety standards. So that was a very big concern for us. And so in terms of the environment, this is having a huge impact on our water bodies, our air, our land. And, we particularly did a lot of research in a coastal area called Jamestown, which is a beach. And, I'm telling you, this beach, I want people to really picture walking on a beach with there not being any sand on. We were mainly walking on piles and piles of textile waste. So these environmental concerns are very big for us.
Quashie, humor me. I'm going to ask how much your jacket costs. It's very, very nice. How much was it? Can you tell?
Well, actually, I enjoy vintage shopping, so I do a lot of secondhand shopping.
Okay.
So this was actually purchased at a vintage shop in London.
But it must cost a pretty penny now, doesn't it?
Well, actually, vintage clothing is good because it's not as expensive, I guess.
Okay.
So this was a good sustainable fashion alternative for my wardrobe.
You do agree with me, but that whatever the case, the amount you bought it for is not something that can be afforded by most Ghanaians, and that is why there's a huge market for these second-hand clothes. So I'm asking this because I want to know why a total ban, because this is going to affect the average Ghanaian who purchases these second-hand clothes. Why not reforms? Why not perhaps maybe regulation?
Yes, so I want to make it clear that we are not advocating at all for a total ban. You know, what we are actually calling for is a ban on dead waste. So this is clothes that cannot be sold. You know, as you mentioned, we have an economy in Ghana and in a lot of African countries that rely on these imported secondhand clothes. So we're calling for, you know, we're saying send your clothes to Ghana, but make sure they're of good quality so that our economies and our people can actually enjoy these clothes and so that they don't end up, you know, polluting our environment and stuff. So, you know, the research we did on the ground shows that the quality of some of the clothes being imported into the country are not good. And to give you an example, because I was present at the bale openings with the market sellers who kind of buy these bales, you know, once they're imported. And we saw clothes like winter jackets, gloves, beanie hats, you know, things that are not suitable for Ghana's weather. And also clothes that are dirty, that are old-fashioned, that are of poor quality with holes and stuff. So we're saying, please, you know, respect us and send us better quality clothes. So we're not calling for a ban altogether. We're just saying, make sure you send us quality clothes that are actually usable.
Well, Sam Quashie-Idun, thank you very much. And please do remember to take me shopping, vintage shopping, when I'm in London. Thank you.
I'm waiting for you. Thank you for having me.